What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I just spent all morning playing the Monster Hunter World's beta, and honestly, I'm quite impressed. This is basically a tiny demo that gives us a couple main targets and 2 maps to explore. Now, it's not giant, but it gives us a really good taste of what the full game will be. To make sure you're ready for all the carnage that's about to unfold, right at the start they give you a lot of really powerful gear, including 14 different weapon classes. This is probably the thing that's definitely the most changed. There are a lot of tweaks that definitely make things move a lot smoother, like now when you're actually using a long-range weapon, it controls almost like a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. It makes it where I can easily toggle between different types of ammo or even put in special attacks so I can machine gun this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. There is a major focus now on trying to streamline the experience. So many of these weapons now have special chain attacks built into them. Like, this is by far my favorite one. It's like a baseball bat covered in spikes, but while you're using it, it's also a musical instrument. Depending on the combo you do, you can actually press song at the very end, and your dude will start playing a little tune that buffs your party. It makes it where they become stronger or dodge attacks easier. Each one of the weapons has some sort of weird little extra element to it that I love. Stuff like this is so neat. Now, there's also more basic stuff like an axe that can transform, or a sword, like right here, this sword. It actually makes it where I can do different sorts of elemental attacks. So if there's an enemy that's trying to escape, I can try and stun him with a lightning strike. They certainly are trying to give you a large set of skills because these monsters are incredibly strong. Seriously, if you're not careful, you're going to get knocked over, or in my case, eaten quick. I do suggest you at least try this with friends before you start going solo. You can play this single player or multiplayer, but I found myself having a lot more ease at the beginning when I was being backed up by people who had clearly played hundreds of hours of Monster Hunter. I could kind of learn from their motions and track their behavior, and it really helped me figure out shortcuts and stuff like that. Even if you are playing by yourself though, they give you this little AI companion, this cat, and it's cool because he just kind of backs you up. The enemies also are a lot weaker when you're playing by yourself, which is very needed. If you were just going against something like this thing, which is a huge mutant alligator, he would easily pull you into the grass and rip you in half. Having a little cat to sit there and claw its eyes out, well, you actually have a fighting chance, even if it is a small one. Speaking of grass, let's actually just take a second to really acknowledge the fact that the environments are insane. They have definitely done a giant graphical boost to try and make this really beautiful for the PlayStation 4. I've played quite a few of the Monster Hunter games, but they've always been something that in my head I remember as being slightly grainy. They're games that are fun, but definitely have always been on stuff like the 3DS or the PlayStation 2. Now it seems like they're really kind of taking the gloves off and showing us how beautiful this world can be. Each of these maps we're on are very tiny though. With both of them, if you actually start trying to explore, you'll run into these giant gates that were very clearly put down just for the sake of this demo. While this beta is tiny, it's easy to see that the maps when they're fully unveiled will actually be quite large. I'm hoping that there's a lot more free roam. Right now what happens is you pick a quest with a specific target in mind and you have 20 minutes on the map before you either fail or take out whatever your objective is. This doesn't really give you a lot of chances to just kind of climb different spots and enjoy the view. For the most part, as soon as you land, you and your team need to spread out, start searching for clues, and stay on the monster's trail. That's not really a bad thing though. It definitely feels very centered on the mission. You don't really have a lot of time to just kind of wander around. There is enough time though to actually upgrade weapons. So one of the main aspects of Monster Hunter is the fact that when you kill monsters, you get to pick up parts off of them. Quills, claws, bones, that kind of stuff. And by taking it back to camp, you can use it to construct additional upgrades, crafting all new sorts of weapons and armor to make yourself stronger for the bigger missions ahead. Right now in the game, you're able to collect these items, but they don't really have a general purpose. The only thing you can actually do stuff with is by picking up plants, you can do stuff like make more bullets or craft certain certain expendables, potions, that kind of stuff. From what I can tell, it's very, very streamlined and simplified, which I'm totally okay with. I'm hoping this carries over to all crafting in the final game, because when it comes down to it, the reason Monster Hunter World is so great, so far anyways, is because it's just so fun. When me and my buddies are chasing down a giant monster and I manage to tag it with an electric shock trap to stun it, and then we all jump on it at once and just start beating the hell out of it, it's so exciting because you know deep down this thing could easily kill all of you if you're not careful. So at all times you need to constantly keep rotating and keep your tactics evolving. And also, proper communication can really help. Thankfully, they've put in sort of this emote system where you can put out basic requests. It'll show like a little emoji that says, heal me, or stuff like that. Since, let's face it, a huge part of the audience for this game is in Japan. A lot of the best players I played with were definitely Japanese. So if I'm just talking to my microphone saying, hey buddy, can I get a heal? He's not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. So instead, if I can put a little dancing cat that has a heal icon, we can all constantly communicate and stay alive long enough to drop these mega behemoths. If I had one complaint, it's that I do still kind of wish this was open world. I know that's not really typical for this series, but when I see these gorgeous landscapes and the ability to use a grapple hook and get on top of tall surfaces, I wish I didn't constantly have that timer telling me how many seconds I had left to enjoy it. I kind of want to just be able to get lost, pull some stuff out, go and search for supplies. Every corner of these maps is filled with all sorts of cool secrets and supplies and little mini bosses you can take on. I wish that I didn't have to know deep down that after 20 minutes I'm going to go back to camp whether I like it or not. That's just sort of a flaw to the game itself, and we'll see how it works in the main game. Maybe I'll have a lot longer than 20 minutes, because really, let's face it, 30 or 40 minutes on a map is more than enough to take out a target and see the sights. Either way, you can certainly count me as very, very excited to see how the final game plays. This demo is very short, and while they're calling it a beta, I definitely count this as just a demo, because it is such a tiny slice. Luckily, we don't have to wait long for the final game to come out. It's just about a month and a half away, and I'm going to be one of the first people trying this, because even if I'm getting my butt kicked, it's so fun to just kind of lay traps and figure out what the heck I'm going to do against that next big monster. But let me know what you think about it. Did you install this beta? Let me know what you think. I'm sort of curious because this is so different. I'm kind of wondering if the community is going to love it or think it's a bit too strange. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I honestly liked that musical bat so much, I decided to make one in real life. So, enjoy this.
This is the sword of musical magical justice. Don't mess with me, I've got the power of God and anime on my side. Yeah!
Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad, and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.